Hi guys. So in an effort to always make your guys' lives easier, especially as buyer agents right now, Parker and I chatted about using Highnote to submit offers. So where this all stemmed from was a Facebook group that I'm in that specifically talks about the different uses of Highnotes and how people are using them and what's working and what isn't working. And somebody was posting about submitting offers with Highnote, which is something that I never even thought about, but it makes so much sense. And here's why. When you send a Highnote, you can see analytics, right? So when you send an offer to a listing agent, you never know kind of like where you stand with the other offers. But using Highnote, you'll be able to see what the listing agent is looking at, and if they're looking at everything or if they're only looking at a small fraction. And if they're only looking at a small fraction, you can deduce that you're not the highest offer, right? So basically, the story that this person shared was that they submitted an offer using Highnote. They could see that the listing agent only looked at a couple of documents and then clicked out. And her gut instinct was telling her, the listing agent isn't looking at all the documents, we're not the highest offer. So she went back to her client and basically explained, like, I really don't think that we're the highest offer. Do you want to change your offer? They increased their escalation clause by $25,000, let the listing agent know, and the listing agent was immediately back into the Highnote, which you can see, looking at all the documents, and they ended up winning the offer. So that prompted us to look into this a little bit more, and I think it's a really good idea. So I'm going to show you kind of how I just set one up really quickly. This is a house that I bought, so don't worry, I'm not sharing my client's information. So basically, in this top section, I just put offer and then the address. That's how I always send all of my offers because it catches people's eye. And then I talk about what's in the Highnotes and then the details, the quick details, which you can include, you don't have to include. I think that using Highnote, maybe you don't include it just because you want them to look at the paperwork, but I included it in this because that's just what I'm used to doing. First thing I uploaded was the pre-approval letter. And I always put in something about like VA offers since it was a VA loan, but you can put whatever you want in all of these little sections. Escalation clause, appraisal gap coverage, purchase agreement, arbitration, and disclosures. So I uploaded each individual one as an individual PDF so that I can see what they're looking at and what they're looking at the most, and if they're looking at everything. And again, this is so that you can see what the listing agent is looking at, if they're looking at everything, and if you have a chance at winning. I also included my Zillow link because on Zillow, you can see past transactions. So it's strictly for them to see that I'm an experienced agent, I know what I'm doing, and if they want to look at it, they can. If they don't want to, whatever. And then at the bottom, I went through and downloaded every single document that I had above in one PDF so that they can click on it and hit download, and it downloads all of them so that they can sign. So they're not having to go through and download individual ones. It's all right there for them. And then at the bottom, I just did a little closing. So yes, it does take a little bit of time on the front end, but the analytics you'll get back are worth it, in my opinion. So this is something, again, you're not forced to use it, but it's a tool in your toolbox that you'll be able to potentially win more for your buyers. So yeah, thanks guys.